Hi you guys, hello my friends, welcome back. This is our third class and I'm so excited to be with you today. I moved, I don't know if you can tell the background looks a little different. I moved into our guest room, which also has a little storage art space where I keep a lot of my art supplies and my paintings, and it's supposed to be a closet for clothes, but we just got creative with it. So welcome to my home. Today we are going to finish the eyeball. Do you remember this from last week? The giant eyeball. We'll work on that. And then we're gonna start something brand new. So I'm really excited. I have a few ideas for this and we're just gonna kind of wing it and see where it goes. Also something different for today. I borrowed my daughter's very loved set of paints so I can make sure that we have similar colors, because some of the colors that I've used maybe you don't have. So that will help you follow along a little bit closer. All right, well, let's get started. So just like before, we're gonna start with two size brushes, a smaller brush and a larger brush. The larger brush will be great for moving around color, and a small brush is going to be really good for detail work. So with this, I'm not going to actually add any more color to it. I'm just going to show you how to line it using the black watercolor that we're going to get really wet and turn it into a really easy to move ink. So I'm going to get some water, and this is kind of fun. I haven't painted with watercolor in a palette in a while. I've usually used those little squeezy tubes that I've been using, but this is kind of fun. So, like we talked about, you can control how much you have on your brush by testing it there. All right, let's get started. So I'm gonna start here and just follow the line. There we go, around. That's the crease of the eye. And I really like painting eyelashes. I'm gonna move my watercolor over here. So one trick when you're painting eyelashes is start with the lashes that go out like this. And you can see that maybe my brush wasn't quite wet enough. Let's keep going. There we go. And I'm just going to add a little more. Now we're getting eyelashes that look like they're growing out. And then as we come into the center of the eye, they're going a little more straight up, if you notice. And that's because our eye bends. So if this was a three-dimensional shape, this part of the eyelash would be pointed up because it'd be closest to us, and then these would be fanned out. So what do you think we're gonna do as we get in here? Well, obviously our eyelashes get shorter. And if you notice, I'm kind of ignoring the little drawing, the little pencil guides I used. And I'm just gonna go all the way in. I'm gonna make some lashes long. It's up to you. You can make them shorter, longer, whatever you want. And you just want it to fill in. There we go. Now let's do the bottom. So bottom lashes are a lot smaller than our top lashes. And we're gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna start in the middle. So if you notice, these ones are going straight down. These are starting to go off to the side. I'm going to continue that. Also, I've painted a lot of eyelashes, but I've learned that just doing a quick little motion like that makes them look more like hair than if you paint them really slow. I'm just going to fill it in. Also, eyelashes are all different lengths. We have longer and shorter. And it makes them look a little more natural if you make some long and some short. All right. I love doing black outlines on my watercolor just because it makes it pop a little bit. So we made the eye a greenish blue, and we're going to paint around that little white spot, because that white spot is going to become our shine. And we're going to fill in that pupil. And I don't know what it is about eyes, but I have always loved drawing eyes, painting eyes, doodling eyes. They're just fun. Okay? And see how that shine kind of creates an optical illusion that the eye is shiny and wet. All right, for the eyebrows, I go straight up here. And then as it starts to go down, I start to curve it like that. And everyone has a different eyebrow shape, but usually people have a little arch where their brow bone is. I'm gonna just keep adding, but you can do any eyebrow shape you want. So this one was kind of simple and a nice little tutorial on how to do an eye. You could make any other eye color. You could add more depth and shadow, but leaving this part white creates like a brow bone, and this part white makes it look like the eyelid, but you can fill it all in if you want to. All right, so that's the eyeball. Now we're going to move on to a fresh new paper. So I wanted to experiment with less pencil and more just using our color. I'm going to use a little bit of pencil just to create some shapes. I thought it would be fun to do just color pattern. So I'm going to start by drawing like a raindrop shape, like that. And let's draw an upside down raindrop shape. I'm going to turn it because it's easier for me. Big round bottom and then whoop, up at the top. And I'm going to turn it back this way, and we're going to curve it up like that. Okay, so now we're going to go in with a bigger brush, and I'm going to use just the plain water I have. Well, it's got a little bit of color in it, that's okay. And I'm going to fill in the whole shape, staying in the lines, but dipping, adding more water. We want it to be nice and full of water. Okay, and then I'm going to do purple. I want to do purple at the bottom. I'm going to kind of do these rainbow water drops. So this one will be purple into, what comes after purple? Blue. And I'm going to do blue at the top. Ooh, that's a pretty blue. And then I'm rinsing, and I'm going to just try to have them meet right there. So what's cool about this is as this dries, you're going to notice the colors, because it's still wet, they're still moving. See how they're blending together? Can even do some dots. Okay, so that's pretty wet. I'm going to leave it alone. And then I'm going to do this raindrop. And if you feel like it's got maybe too much water, like it might spill out, which mine looks like it might, I'm going to take a little bit of paper towel, and I'm just going to let it absorb tiniest bit. Look at that, it just drinks it right up. There we go. Okay, back to the water. Fill, fill, fill. I think it's really fun to just make shapes and patterns. You don't have to do it in a raindrop shape, You can do it in a circle or a square or a heart, whatever you'd like to do. I just thought this would look kind of fun. Okay, so now we're gonna go in with green. And also, if you wanted to try to fit all the rainbow colors into one shape, you absolutely could. Okay, and then yellow. Let's see. Once you learn how colors blend, then you can incorporate this style in the background of something. You could draw like the eye that we did and then put these colors swirling in the background. It's just, once you know how to play with the colors, fun. I almost want to add the littlest orange. Just to see how it dries. Okay. And I bet you can guess which colors I'm going to use here. Orange and red. It's a really cool technique to use water first and then add your paint, because you'll notice it moves a lot more. Also, it's fun to experiment and just do not get it wet first and see how that works for you. Okay, so now we're going to do orange. And I'm just going to move it up, move it up. I am using a lot of water. Okay, and then we're going to use our red. These aren't blending as much for some reason. I'm going to add more water. There we go. Cool. Now that I've seen what they look like, I think I'm going to add some yellow to this one. This is where you can really experiment and explore. And I think I'm actually going to add a little blue to this one. Ooh, do you know what would be fun? Is once these were dry, if we cut them out and hung them. Wouldn't that be cool, you guys? I think that's maybe what we should do. Okay, now I'm drying. I don't know if you can see, but I'm drying and dabbing in between. And this is pretty wet. I think I might just move it up. And the trick is not to blend so much that you lose the difference of color. Ooh, I like this. This is really fun. I think I'm going to go ahead and do some smaller ones, especially if we're going to turn this into a little mobile. Okay, so I'll do some purple. And blue. So I'm going to be careful not to get close to these, because if I touch it, then they'll bleed together. We don't want them to do that. Okay. These little rainbow drops are really pretty. All right. Next is yellow. So I am just adding more raindrop shapes. So when this is dry, I can cut them out. Wonderful. Okay. I think I might, just to make sure I have enough, I'll do a couple more. Make a nice light blue. And I think I'll add some yellow to that one. And what do we know about yellow and blue? It's gonna make green. Okay, so now I'm going to carefully move that out of the way to dry, and that's something we can work on in our next class to cut it out. And since we have one more piece of paper and a little bit of time, because that didn't take very much, let's talk about mixing colors. So if we take, let's see. So we know that if we take blue, and I'm rinsing in between, and we take yellow. Oh, there's a little blue on my brush still, but you'll see. Blue and yellow. I'm gonna get them close to each other. Oh, until I make green. How cool. Okay, I have made a mess of my yellow. Look at this yellow. It's so messy. Here's a trick. If we use our paper towel, we can just dab out that color like that. All right, so then we know that we can make yellow and red. What do yellow and red make? I know some of you are like, of course it makes orange, but sometimes we don't always know how to make those colors. Maybe we should just make it a line instead of dots. What do you think? Sure, we'll make it a line. Look at that, how cool. So it's really neat to know that if, let's say, you only have blue and yellow, that you can make green, you can mix colors, and then red we can mix with blue to make purple. See? I love mixing colors. So you can make a lot of different colors. And sometimes maybe you want to make a blue, like kind of a bluish purple. It might look like that. These new colors we made are really pretty, like teal. This orange. It's kind of like a muted orange. So yeah, experiment with mixing your colors, because even though you might have a set that only has this many colors, you can make a lot of different colors. All right, you guys, well, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. And as always, if you can send me any pictures of what you're making, I would love to see it. And I'll see you next week. Okay, bye.